Welcome dear students. In today's video we will be discussing about how do organisms reproduce. Students, before we start, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Dear students, let's talk about what is reproduction. Reproduction is the biological process by which organisms produce new individuals of the same species, ensuring the continuity of life. It is essential for maintaining genetic continuity and variation. If we talk about modes of reproduction, reproduction is divided into two types: asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction involves a single parent. Offspring are genetically identical to the parent. It is common in unicellular organisms and some multicellular organisms. Sexual reproduction involves two parents, male and female. It involves fusion of male and female gametes. The offspring show genetic variation. Dear students, before talking further we should know the importance of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, carrying genetic information. DNA contains genes that determine the traits and characteristics of an organism. During reproduction, DNA is passed from parents to offspring, ensuring that the offspring inherit the traits of the parents, maintaining genetic continuity. DNA replication ensures that every cell in a new organism contains the same genetic information. This maintains species-specific traits across generations. Genetic variation in sexual reproduction. DNA from two parents combines, leading to genetic variation. Variation is crucial for evolution and adaptation to changing environments. Instructions for development. DNA provides the blueprint for the development of an organism. It directs cell division, growth, and differentiation to form various tissues and organs. Repair and survival. DNA repair mechanisms maintain its integrity, ensuring the proper functioning of cells. Binary fission. Definition: the parent organism splits into two identical daughter cells. Examples: amoeba, paramecium, bacteria. Process: the nucleus divides, if present, by mitosis. The cytoplasm splits, forming two identical cells. 2. Budding definition: a small outgrowth, bud, develops on the parent body, which grows and eventually detaches to become a new organism. Examples: hydra, yeast. Process: a bud forms due to repeated cell division at a specific site. The bud grows while attached to the parent and detaches when mature. 3. Fragmentation definition: the parent organism breaks into fragments, and each fragment grows into a complete organism. Examples: Spirogyra, planaria. Process: the organism splits due to injury or naturally. Each fragment regenerates the missing parts to form a complete organism. 4. Spore formation definition: the parent organism produces tiny, lightweight spores, which germinate under favorable conditions to form new individuals. Examples: fungi, e.g., rhizopus, ferns. Process: spores are enclosed in structures called sporangia. When conditions are favorable, sporangia burst open, releasing spores. 5. Vegetative propagation definition: new plants grow from vegetative parts like roots, stems, or leaves. Examples: stem, potato, ginger, leaf, bryophyllum, root, sweet potato, dahlia. Natural vegetative propagation occurs naturally without human intervention. Artificial vegetative propagation, achieved through techniques like grafting, layering, or tissue culture. Regeneration definition: the ability of an organism to regrow lost parts, with each part potentially developing into a new organism. Examples: planaria, starfish. Process: involves cell division and differentiation. Not all organisms with regenerative abilities reproduce this way. Now students, let's talk about sexual reproduction in plants. Sexual reproduction in plants involves the fusion of male and female gametes, resulting in the formation of a zygote, which develops into a seed. It is a complex process that ensures genetic diversity and the continuation of the species. Key features of sexual reproduction in plants include: involves male and female reproductive structures. Fusion of gametes occurs to form a zygote, results in offspring with genetic variation. Takes place in flowering plants primarily through flowers. Structure of a flower. A flower is the reproductive organ of flowering plants. Its main parts include calyx, sepals protect the flower in the bud stage, corolla, petals attract pollinators with their color and scent, androecium, male reproductive part, stamens, consist of anther, produces pollen, and filament. Gynoecium, female reproductive part, carpel/pistil, consists of stigma, receives pollen, style, connects stigma to ovary, and ovary, contains ovules. Students, here is a picture, you can take a screenshot of it and try to solve and remember it. Stages of sexual reproduction in plants. 1. Pollination. Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. Types of pollination. Self-pollination. pollen from the anther of a flower is transferred to the stigma of the same flower or another flower on the same plant. Cross-pollination. Pollen from the anther of one flower is transferred to the stigma of a flower on a different plant of the same species. Agents of pollination: animals, bees, butterflies, birds, and other animals transfer pollen. Wind. Lightweight pollen is carried by the wind, e.g., grasses. Water. Aquatic plants use water, e.g., Vallisneria. Process of pollination. Pollen production. The anther produces pollen, which contains the male reproductive cells, gametes. Attracting pollinators, the flower may use its colorful petals, fragrance or nectar to attract pollinators like bees, butterflies, or birds. Transfer of pollen. When a pollinator visits a flower for nectar or pollen, it brushes against the anther, picking up and carrying pollen grains on its body. Arrival at another flower. The pollinator moves to another flower of the same species, or a compatible one. Some of the previously collected pollen may rub off onto the stigma of the second flower. Now, dear students, let's talk about fertilization in plants. Fertilization in plants is the process where the male gamete, sperm cell, fuses with the female gamete, egg cell, to form a zygote. This is a crucial step in sexual reproduction, as it combines genetic material from both parents, leading to the formation of a seed. It is essential for maintaining the diversity of plant species, the functioning of ecosystems, and food production. Process of fertilization include fertilization. Pollen lands on the stigma. Pollination. Pollen germinates, forming a pollen tube. Pollen tube grows through the style to reach the ovule in the ovary. The male gamete travels through the tube and fuses with the female gamete, egg cell, in the ovule. This fusion forms a zygote, seeds, and fruit formation. The zygote develops into an embryo. The ovule becomes the seed, containing the embryo and stored food. The ovary develops into a fruit, protecting the seeds. Seed dispersal and germination. Seeds are dispersed away from the parent plant to reduce competition and colonize new areas. Methods of seed dispersal: wind, lightweight seeds, e.g., dandelion. Water, seeds with buoyancy, e.g., coconut. Animals, seeds with hooks or edible fruits, e.g., burdock, mango. Explosion, seeds are ejected forcefully, e.g., pea, balsam. Thank you, students. Subscribe for part 2.